President Lincoln's Cottage, we really focus on taking Lincoln off the pedestal and to talking about his humanity and what his lived experience was as a way to draw members of the public into that story today and help them sort of realize their own humanity. And we recognize that we do our best work when we lead with questions. And one of the ways that we wanted to approach America's 250th is to really ask the questions, what might happen if other museums and historic sites really centered humanity and these universal human emotions in their programming and in how they showed up to commemorate America at 250.
Our work as part of this convening was to bring humanity back to the center of everything that we do so that we can really think about empathy and compassion as we are helping individuals become more aware of themselves and how they work with each other. The 250th will be a success if we are really thinking about people and what people need, what they want, but also how they are in community or connected with each other.
This convening was a chance to help fill in gaps that I felt were present in the way we've been organizing America 250 and the 250th commemoration so far. In a lot of ways, the discussion we've been having has centered on historical concepts, historical thinking, important themes in American history. And while those are a vital part of this conversation, there's also a part that many of those conversations haven't addressed, which is how does this impact the way we think about ourselves as Americans, what America is to us, and how we see the United States as a place of belonging or not.
There's absolutely room for celebration. We just can't get carried away. It's celebration within context. We should celebrate. Coming out of the African American tradition, even in the depths of the nadir, even in the depths of slavery, Black folk found time to find joy, to celebrate. I mean, that's how you move beyond trauma. But it has to be in context. It can't just be all celebration. There has to be time for serious reflection. There has to be pauses for mourning. And if you do that, then the celebration actually takes on more meaning.
There's this intersection between the work that we do in the public history world and how that associates and connects with mental health and trauma, especially when we recognize and identify that we are a country in the midst of a mental health crisis. How we navigate that sort of cohesion between those two areas is going to be super important. I think of the 250th as planting the seed for a new garden.
Museums are really prime locations for people to have these experiential kind of engagements where they're learning, where they're learning things that are difficult, and they're encountering some truths that are welcomed and unwelcomed. But in that process, you can have a healing kind of experience if you're good stewards of the emotions that are triggered and drudged up.
Even in museum and historic site spaces where there is ultimately a delivery of something, a product, an exhibit, something to interact with, that really connecting with people on a human level, elevating their humanity and being in a process of whether that's healing trauma, going through collective grief, that really is the process that is more important to the work that we do.
Use gatherings like this to give each other support, because I think the support gives us a foundation to be brave, right? Like, you've got a support network, you've got like kind of your North Star, and you are now ready to kind of stick your neck out.